Hi everyone. Today I thought I would show you the music that I've been listening to for the past few days. First of all, on my main channel, Canadian Studmuffin, I'm doing this CD exchange with my friend Glenn Kellaway from the basement. We've done quite a few videos, and what we do is every week or two we give each other 5 CDs, and then we listen to them for a week or two, then we come back and we review and rank each of the 5 CDs we gave each other. So if you're not subscribed to my other channel, I hope you subscribe and check out those videos. So Glenn gave me, well actually this time we made it a little different. I told Glenn, choose 5 CDs for my CD collection, and then I'll go over to your place. We live pretty close to each other, and I'll pick 5 CDs. So the 5 CDs I picked, and I've never heard any of these albums fully, maybe parts of them. Jethro Tull, Benefit. Procol Harum, Grand Hotel. I have their earlier albums, but I have not bought this yet, or even heard it. Free, Fire and Water. King Crimson, Islands. And yeah, I've never heard this full album. The Jimi Hendrix Experience, Axis, Bold as Love. And so, you know, every night I usually don't listen to music during the day. I go to bed early, and with headphones I listen to music for 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe even 4 hours sometimes. And last night, you know, every night I look through my CD collection, and sometimes I pick out the same kind of, you know, the Yes and David Bowie and Beatles and all that. But sometimes, like this artist here, it's like I haven't listened to this artist in a long time. And so last night I was listening to the debut album of Joe Cocker, with a little help from my friends. And I had forgotten that Jimmy Page actually plays on this album, on some of the songs, and he does guitar solos and everything. Everybody is familiar with, of course, his version of A Little Help from My Friends, but Feeling All Right is great, and Just Like a Woman from Bob Dylan, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, I Shall Be Released. Just what a great singer he was. And then his second album, Joe Cocker with a exclamation mark. Yeah, Dear Landlord, Bird on a Wire, the Leonard Cohen song, Lottie Miss Claudie, She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, the Beatles, of course. Hitchcock, Railway is Awesome. The Beatles, Something. And then my favorites, Delta Lady and Darling Be Home Soon. I love that song. Originally, I think, yeah, John Sebastian originally did that. And then I also have a best of. I'm usually, you know, I would usually rather buy the studio albums, but his third album, which was called Something to Say in the UK, and then just Joe Cocker again here in Canada and the States. It had 2 songs that are on this that are possibly my favorite Joe Cocker songs. High Time We Went, and yeah, Woman to Woman. I love those songs. But I really love his third album. The only thing is it's pretty expensive to buy, so. Yeah, and then You Are So Beautiful, The Letter, Midnight Rider, Cry Me a River. Excellent. What a talent. As most of you know, I'm kind of a fan of this band. They're my #1 band of all time. But I mainly listen to their, their studio albums. But I have a new appreciation for the Love soundtrack, although I haven't listened to it lately. And then last night, this is another one I don't play that often, Let It Be Naked. And I enjoyed it. It sounds great. The only negative I would say is I would prefer the original versions, like I think there's a different vocal for The Long and Winding Road, and Let It Be I think is different, and yeah, the thing, I don't know. My go-to is the original Let It Be, and also the remix is great too. I have the box set. The thing that's lacking from this is the studio chatter. I love that, the humor. But at least they have Don't Let Me Down on this, which should have been on the original Let It Be. And this is Beatles related. I never knew how talented Sean Lennon was. In one of our CD exchanges last year, Glenn gave me, I think it was the first one, the Claypool Lennon Delirium Monolith of Phobos. So this is with Les Claypool, the awesome bassist. And I think on first listen, because his bass is so up front, it's almost like a lead instrument. It took a while to adjust, to the sound of that. So by the second or third play, it was like, oh my God, this is so good. So I highly recommend this. And the second album, South of Reality, is excellent too. I need to get some of the Sean Lennon solo albums. Now, at a local record store in Belleville, Sam the Record Man, it's the one and only that's still standing. Sam the Record Man was a huge record store in Toronto for years and years and years. And sadly, all of the, that record store closed. And the only one that's still around is the one in Belleville. And it's still a good store, but they have, I don't know, they have too many of these bootleg CDs, which is kind of a turnoff. But that being said, I saw this Captain Beefheart. I'm a big Captain Beefheart fan. Live in Vancouver, 1981, and I remember, but I wasn't completely sure. I remember hearing what I think was this on Spotify and saying, "Oh, it's a good quality bootleg." And so I took a chance and I bought it. And it is. It sounds great. The band is on fire. I highly recommend this. Here are the songs. It's bootleg quality, but it's very good bootleg quality. And it's great. Highly recommend it. Now this American band, I think they're very underrated. They had some hits in the 60s, but they're really not known as an albums band. And so I feel these albums are very underrated. And I'm missing their debut album, but I've got the Buckinghams, Time and Charges, and Portraits. I never really play, I should play this, but I never do. I heard a little bit of it last night and I enjoyed it. But this one, and their final album, In One Ear and Gone Tomorrow, in the early 70s, I used to, I didn't have that much money, and so I'd buy albums from cutout bins for like $1. And I bought these two albums on vinyl back in the day, and I was so impressed with them. So through the years, I've played Portraits and In One Ear and Gone Tomorrow a lot. If you love, it's like sunshine pop rock, but it's got some heavy guitar mixed in, and there's horns. This was before Chicago. The same producer that produced early Chicago, is it James something, Gurcio or something. But and then there's songs like Simplicity that are like very Beatle-y, like Paul McCartney-ish, and they're excellent. So I highly recommend these albums. And on my main channel, I haven't done this in quite a while, but through the years, I've done a lot of ranking and reviewing of band discographies. David Bowie, Sparks, Blue Oyster Cult, The Doors, Led Zeppelin, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, lots and lots of them. But I haven't done it in a while. And I've been meaning to do a ranking and reviewing of this band, but only their first 7 albums, excluding their debut, which really isn't the sound of what they became. And it is the Moody Blues. So stay tuned for that on my Canadian Studmuffin channel. So I've been listening to this. Even the Moody Blues consider this their debut album. But I've been listening to this a few times, starting to get into all of these albums, and it is so good. It's a masterpiece. Of course, it has Nights in White Satin and Tuesday Afternoon. But the whole album is superb. And then the follow-up, In Search of the Lost Chord, I've also listened to quite a bit. And it is also, I don't know how, even those 2 albums, I don't know how I'm going to rank them because I love both of them so much. But what a talented band they were. And these other ones I've listened to, but I need to listen to them more in order to do a proper review and rank. This is On a Threshold of a Dream. They always had really nice album covers. To Our Children's Children's Children. A Question of Balance. Every Good Boy Deserves Favor. I remember one of my brothers had this in the early 70s, and so I've played this more than the other ones I just showed you. But I still need to listen to it more. But I love that album cover. And the final one, I know they made other albums after that, but I lost interest in them. And so this will be, just for their early albums, the final one will be Seventh Sojourn, which I need to play more. Let me know in the comment section below which is your favorite Moody Blues album of the ones that I have. And that is about it. Oh yeah, and I also have, I think I have about 25 of these books, maybe even 30. And so I have a book on the Moody Blues, every album, every song, which is excellent. Highly recommended. And they even have one on Sparks coming out in September. But yeah, I've got these books on the Beatles solo years, Led Zeppelin, Porcupine Tree, Frank Zappa, Yes, Blue Oyster Cult, many, many, many of these books. And they're all really good. That's it. Please remember to like the video and leave a comment below. I'd really appreciate it. And have a great day. Bye.